season kicked off in Estoril 2 weeks ago with Danny Halgado taking his first career victory. The Aspar rider will start from pole position today, and after winning last weekend in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, his confidence is high ahead of this 18-lap race. Steve English and Kiko Giles here at the Ricardo Tormo circuit. And Kiko, awful lot to look forward to during the course of this race.
This is going to be an absolute humdinger, Steve. I wouldn't want to be putting money on anything apart from the fact that Daniel Holgado is definitely going to be in the mix. Brit watch, by the way, Josh Watley, that's a career best 13th grid slot for him, and Watley, we know, always goes quicker in the race. So for all the British fans out there, the next star, Josh Watley, he might well be in contention, and being British, he will naturally be very, very accomplished in dodgy conditions. The track is dry, there is no standing water or damp patches really on the track. But it's to what limit are you willing to push? As soon as you go out to the curves, go onto the green, paint on the first lap. The first turn is notorious for it here at the Ricardo Tormo circuit in Valencia. You've just got to be a bit cautious on them first couple of laps, and hopefully everyone's going to get through.
In the pole position, Danny Halgado was able to convert that into an early race lead. From the second row of the grid, Takuma Matsuyama was able to move himself up into third position, but he would get a long lap penalty. That was as a result of it riding slowly during the qualifying session yesterday. We had lots of crashes in the early stages of the race, including this trio of riders down at turn 2. Halgado led those early stages from Diogo Moreira and Ivan Ortola, a fast start in the second row of the grid. But for the likes of Matsuyama, that long lap penalty did drop him down the order, and he'd have to recover all the way through this race. Crash for Eddie O'Shea in the early stages of the race. Tricky conditions for the Moto3 riders, and tricky also for Matsuyama to take that long lap penalty. He rejoined at the back of the group, kept his head down, trying to make progress in the second half of the race to move himself back up as the race leaders. But as you can see, it was difficult for lots of riders all the way through. That was Bill Van Erde crashing. That's Gerard Rieu crashing as well in the early stages. Leading three did break away, Danny Halgado, but as you can see there, Joel Kelso crashing out. He wasn't the only one. We also saw Jose Julian Garcia crashing out at the same point of the race as well, and really was very easy for the riders to lose touch with the group in front of them. But as the race progressed, we saw lots of that leading group come back together. This is Halgado leading the way from Ortola before this massive moment. He was able to recover from that, but he lost 2 spots. Tried to make them up in those closing laps. This is a move on Matsuyama, who's also recovered from that long lap penalty. It's a leading group of 5 in the closing stage of the race. Diogo Moreira spotted an opportunity, took the race lead. Danny Halgado followed him through. But as you can see, with 6 riders battling it out at the front, it really was a case of chopping and changing all the way through. This is Ivan Ortola's moment on the last lap. Danny Halgado came from third to second on that final lap, and then into first, barges down the inside of Matsuyama. They made contact on the exit, and it was Danny Halgado that makes it 2 from 2 in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Danny Halgado able to claim the race victory from Takuma Matsuyama and Diogo Moreira. Tough day at the office for a lot of riders here in the opening race of the day in Valencia, but not a tough start to the season for Danny Halgado. Perfect 50 points from 50 in the opening 2 races of the year. Takuma Matsuyama up to second. David Salvador still able to salvage that third in the standings, Kiko, but we've opened the year with 2 great races.
We have opened the year with 2 great races, and the most important thing now is that for the guys who are chasing Holgado, they've got to reset, they've got to refocus. And I think what we've learned in that race is that Holgado can't be given time at the front because he knows his pace and he knows his capability. You've got to fight with him.
Yeah, certainly with Holgado, you've got to make sure you're able to apply that pressure all the way through. Easier said than done, but for these Moto3 riders, they've got a few hours to try and find something to be able to take that fight to Danny Holgado. He's been able to win two very different races in Estoril, and